Now we're going to look at some examples where you might not have one conversion factor that converts one unit of measurement into another. So you might have to use multiple steps. So let's look at an example. Say if you were given 1,505 centimeters and asked to convert that to kilometers. You might look at your conversion table and say, I don't have a conversion factor directly between centimeters and kilometers, but I do have a conversion factor between centimeters and meters that I know, and a conversion factor between meters and kilometers that you know. So you might choose to do your conversion in 2 steps. So say, for example, you did it like this. Right? You know that there are 100 centimeters in every 1 meter, and this would tell you that this was equivalent to that many meters. And then you may take that many meters and convert that to kilometers. Okay, nothing's wrong with that. It's just 2 steps. What the factor label method allows you to do is to eliminate this math part so that you don't actually have to do that. But instead, what you can do is just take this conversion factor and add it onto your conversion factor ladder. Let's look at how we could do that. So say I instead started with my 1,505 centimeters. Centimeters to meters, still 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. If I did my math now, just like in my previous example, I would have my answer in meters, but I want in kilometers. So I'm going to take that conversion factor and I'm going to stick it right on the end here. And I'm going to say again, 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. I've checked top and bottom that all my units cancel. My kilometers is the unit I want. So just like before with the 1 step, all I have to do is my math. So I take my 1,505 and essentially divide it by the product of my 100 and my 1,000, and it's still going to give me the exact same answer. But it gave me the opportunity to do it all sort of in one math step, and I can get rid of that step of having to figure out how many meters, and then from how many meters, figure out how many kilometers. Let's look at another example. In a lot of cases, when we go from US standard to metric, we don't have a lot of the conversion factors. So for example, here with feet to kilometers, you know maybe feet to meters and meters to kilometers, or maybe if you know some, you might know feet to miles and miles to kilometers, but you might not have that immediate conversion factor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the path that takes me from feet to meters. So I know from my conversion factor that 1 foot is equal to 0.035 meters. All right, but here I go. Again, if I did my math right now, my answer would be in meters. I don't want it in meters. I want it in kilometers. So I'm going to go from meters to kilometers. And again, now all I have left to do is my math. All right, and if I go ahead and I do my math, and I do it where I am rounding to the 10th like we do in class, I should get 2.3 kilometers. All right, you could have also done it if you knew some of your US standard conversions a little differently. All right, you could have gone 7,508 feet, right? And say you knew about feet to miles. Because remember, you also know about miles to kilometers. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. That gets rid of my feet, but if I did my math now, I'd be in miles. But you might also know something about miles to kilometers. And you do. You know that 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers. So again, I only have to now do my math. And again, my number that I get when rounded to the 10th gives me 2.3 kilometers. It just depends on what conversion factors you know. You just want to make sure that as you step through, you're checking to make sure that you cancel your top with your bottom and that your numbers are in the right place. Sometimes you may do it a different way, and as a result, somewhere out in the decimals, you might get a slightly different answer, but that's just because all of these conversion factors are also rounded at a certain point. So you might get something ever so slightly different. Okay, let's do one more example, maybe that involves some time. So we have 4.6 hours, and we're asked to determine how many seconds that is. So we start off just like before with our given measurement. All right, I don't know an immediate conversion factor between hours and seconds, but I do know one between hours and minutes. All right, I know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. So again, if I did my math right now, my answer would be in minutes, not in seconds like I wanted. So I'm going to add the one more conversion factor that I know that goes from minutes to seconds. And I know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. So now I know I've canceled out all my units, top and bottom, and the measurement unit I would get is seconds. So again, I only have to do my math. All right, when I do that, I get 16,560 seconds. And I'm all done. Hope that helps.